Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking about how to save my marriage, specifically 3 steps that we found here at High Thrive Coaching after helping save numerous marriages. We have over 12,000 active students currently, but thousands and thousands of marriages just like yours all around the world. Those that were saying, their spouse wanted a divorce. They're saying, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. How many of us have heard that, right? Or I'm in love with someone else. They're having an affair. They're unhappy. You won't change, or I don't trust that these changes are lasting, right? How many of us have heard that? So let me know over in the chat if you guys have heard those same things, if that is the situation that you find yourself in, because that is who this training is for. So what is your primary problem? Let me know which of these sounds most like you. You are talking about divorce, your spouse is talking about divorce, maybe you even have divorce filed, maybe you already even are divorced. So your spouse already has talked to a lawyer, maybe they've already filed for divorce, they threaten divorce, and you want to know what to do to stop it so that you can get them back for good. How many of us are in that kind of situation? Let me know. That would be couple A. Couple B, maybe this sounds more like you. There's no trust. Maybe there's even an affair going on. They're having an affair. They've had multiple affairs. You've had multiple affairs, or there are major trust issues between you, and you want to heal the damage and have trust between you again. How many of us are in that type B category? And then type C would be communication challenges, no communication. They ignore you, they block you, they won't open up, they turn everything into a fight. And you want to know how to open up that communication, how to build respect between you, and how to build connection. So I'll be the first to raise my hand and say that when my marriage has been struggling in the past, communication was always the first thing to go out the window, right? And so we get that here at High Thrive Coaching. We've seen it over and over and over again, and we're going to give you guys some powerful solutions to that today. All right, Adam says, divorce is filed. I'm staying at my parents while she is at our house. She is also seeing another guy. We also do not communicate except about our kid. Angie says all 3, right? So some of us might be in multiple categories, and that's okay. So no matter where you are, I want you to kind of take a deep breath. We are where we are, and it's okay. What's not okay is staying there, right? And so that is a choice. And so today I'm going to show you those 3 steps that are going to help you move from this situation. And like Adam here, Angie here, is that we're going to find out, is it possible to save your marriage in this situation? For some of you, it's going to be absolutely possible. In fact, for about 90-95% of you, it actually is going to be possible. But for a few rare of you, it's not going to be possible. And so we're going to let you know if that's your case so that you know how to move forward the best. Sound good? All right. Angie says his affair is with alcohol, right? Sometimes it's with money issues. Sometimes it's with substance abuse. It's broken trust over and over and over again. Makes sense. All right. So after working with thousands of couples, we found one little thing that's a big reason why marriages are ending in divorce. I say it's something insane because literally no one else is talking about it. We've been talking about it here at High Thrive Coaching for a little over a year and a half, and we've been doing this for almost 5 years, okay? And in the industry, though, for about 15 years. So all that being said, why is no one else talking about this? Why is it something that you've never heard of before, unless you've been here with Path and with High Thrive Coaching for a while? So I want to know, which of the following have you tried already to solve this? Okay, let me know. Put your answers in the comments, put them in the chat. I want to hear. Have you guys tried counseling? Have you tried to work on yourself, right? Have you done marriage books, do-it-yourself programs, any of those things, YouTube videos? What have you already done to try to solve these challenges? All right, I hear all of them. Andre says she won't speak to me. Ircon says, Carly, all the above. David says books, articles, working on myself. All right, cool. So we've got some answers there. All 4 of them. Steve says, Angie says, I'm in therapy and he won't go. It's my problem. Yeah, that's what we find more often than not when our clients start with us, is that you want to work on the marriage and they're not wanting to work on it with you. They're not willing to go to counseling with you. And so what do? Most people say that's a hopeless situation, and we've proven that it's not. So here's what you need to do instead. All right, David, Amy, good job. All right, Thanks for answering there. And those on Facebook, I'm reading your comments as well. So here's why those haven't worked for you, because just like you, I did all those things. I went to see a marriage counselor. I talked to the church pastor or bishop. I did the self-help books. I did YouTube videos. I listened to podcasts, all these different things. And our clients will often do the same thing. They'll go to counseling. They'll try to work on themselves. They'll try to do it themselves. And they would say things like this, like, how are you doing working on yourself? They'd be like, I'm doing great. I'm losing weight. I'm spending more time at home. I'm more patient with the kids. I stopped complaining, nagging, having the affair, whatever it was, right? I stopped whatever that bad behavior was. I meditate now. And we'd be like, great. How is your marriage? And their face would fall and they would say, we're still getting a divorce. Sound familiar? Right? Because these things simply do not work. Working on yourself, going to therapy, all of these do-it-yourself type methods, they're good for you. Any type of personal progress is good for you. But here's the bottom line. They are not the solution to save your marriage. The solution is to work on changing your spouse's beliefs and their story about you. In other words, we kind of need to market ourselves to our spouse. What do I mean by that? Well, in marketing, as we know, we need to build that know, like, trust factor, and we need to get people's attention right away. We do not have time to waste. So after we get their attention right away, then we build on that know, like, trust factor so that people want what we're offering. So here's where most people get it completely wrong. Instead of learning how to get their spouse's attention, they want to immediately dive into the deep issues. They want to push their spouse to work on the marriage. They want to immediately go to counseling and resolve all these deep things. And what happens is your relationship isn't strong enough yet to handle those deeper issues. They do need to be handled, but at the appropriate time. And so what happens is that pushing for those things only pushes your spouse further away. Make sense? Do you see evidence of that happening in your relationship right now? Let me know. Because when we push our spouse to try to do things, push to reconcile, push to stop the affair, push to come back to you, push to see all the positive changes, push to save the marriage for the kids, it only pushes them further away. David says, yes, right? You see it. You see the evidence. Emmy, I don't know if that's a computer name, but I'm going to call you Emmy, says yes. Dion separated. He has moved from both of our residents, sometimes answers my calls, sometimes not, all the above. Clint says, absolutely. Carly says, yes. He says, all the time, I'm still pushing him away with demands. So what we want to do instead of pushing our spouse is to draw them to us and to get their attention so that they want to be with us again. So I want to know, what is your spouse's story about you? In other words, what are the reasons why they say they want out? Or what are the reasons, excuses, whatever you want to call it, that they're justifying what they are doing? Maybe it sounds like some of these are really common ones. Let me know if your spouse has said this about you or what their story is. You won't change. You won't change. Every time I try to tell you this, you are not changing, right? Or the change is only temporary. I see that you've made these changes, but if I come back to you, you're just going to go back to the way that it was, and I'm going to be unhappy. So I'm not willing to give you that chance, right? How many of our spouses are saying, I'm unwilling to give you another chance? Or I just can't trust you. Once trust is broken, it's broken forever, and you can never get my trust back. How many of that? Erkan says she's made out I'm domestically violent and use the system to edge me away. Ooh, yeah. Clint says she doesn't love the relationship and isn't in love with me anymore. Andre says, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. I'm just going to get to that one. Yeah. We've grown too far apart and there's no connection. I can't trust you. We have nothing in common. David says, fell out of love. You won't give me what I need. I never really got to trust you anymore. I need to find myself. I can't be happy here. Dion says, yes. Adam says, I pushed her so hard, it pushed her into another man's arms. David says, I'm toxic, a narcissist. I'm hateful, a liar, a cheater. I will never change. I never loved her in the 10 years we were together. Angie, I have boundaries with the kids and he thinks I should allow abuse from his daughter. Jerry says, half the time it seems like it works for me, but half it pushes further back. All right. So with all of these stories here, we're better as friends. I can't be happy here. These are the stories that they've built up about us. And I want you to understand something really crucial here. Okay. If you can come away from one thing today, I want it to be this. That story that is justifying why they're doing what they're doing, they've built up about us, right? Over the past weeks, months, sometimes even years. And here's the kicker. Most people try to defend themselves against that story. It's natural, right? It's not true about us, or maybe we've changed and we want them to see that that's not true. And so we get into defense mode. And what happens is that we're just fighting fire with fire with fire, fire with fighter. Anyone a firefighter? Okay, let me get back to my English here. We're fighting fire with fire, and we cannot change the story on that level. But that's the mistake that most people run into. And so what we need to know, we need to do instead is to remove that story, or they will not come back to us. Most of our clients' spouses, they have a similar story to what your spouse just said, right? I love you, but I'm not in love with you. You won't change. You shouldn't have these boundaries with my daughter, right? I love you, but I'm not in love with you. You never loved me. I never loved you. We're not compatible. We're better as friends. All of those, right? And this includes our client, Leah. Her husband said that she didn't support him emotionally, and so justified having an affair, leaving her and their newborn son. All right. So which of these, I'm going to call them benefits, but what are the most exciting to you about saving your marriage and helping get on the other side of their story? Let me know here in the chat. You can just put a number or the answer or one. If anything else comes to your mind, let me know. But the first being immediate relief from fear and tension that are between you right now. What if we could get from the story of, I never loved you, or I don't trust you, or I want to be with someone else, I'm not happy here, to immediately removing that fear and that tension. A lot of you talked about how they won't talk to you, and now you're able to open up communication, which would be 2, right? Getting communication open so you can talk about anything. How good would that feel? 3, feeling safe and secure as you restore that trust, both for you and your spouse for you. Or 4, having them want to spend time with you again. Actually, truly wanting to spend time with you, wanting to be with you, and all of that going on there. Which one sounds right for you? Carly says 4, 1. Angie says all of them. Awesome. Alyssa says 2 and 3. David says 4. Cool. All right. And I've got some here on Facebook coming in as well. Clint says all. Awesome. 1 and 4, 1 and 2, Claire, Andre, 3 and 4. Awesome. All right. So let's talk about how we can help get you there and help them let go of that story. So most likely we can help you with that. But before we really get into that, the first step to save your marriage is to get that communication open. A lot of you said 2 is definitely a high priority for you. All of them. Adam says, Jasmine says 2, Diane says all, Jerry says 4, Jasmine says all. Awesome. So we need to get the communication open in a way that isn't going to push them further away from you. Agreed? So let's see how our clients like Leah went from having little to 0 communication, even just surface level communication, to having great open conversations again. Want to see that? Awesome. All right. Here's the truth though, guys. It's going to be ugly. Okay. I'm not here to sugarcoat it to you. I'm not here to paint a fairy tale, but the bottom line is that if you have not been talking about deeper root issues, or maybe you haven't been talking at all for weeks, months, even years. I was just talking to a man a couple of days ago. His wife went out of the country and he hasn't talked to her for 6 months at all. And now we're helping him to reconnect with her in a way that actually works, right? But at the beginning, it's going to be ugly, right? The goal actually isn't positive communication right now. And the goal isn't to solve those issues that are burning at the top of your mind right now. Why would I say that? Because that's where most people get it wrong. They want to push into those deep issues. They want to push into, why did you have the affair? They want to push into, let's restore the marriage right now. I want to know that you're committed to me. And we get a little bit selfish because we want to make sure that our needs are met. But what happens is that's going to push your spouse further away. So our first goal is we need to get communication open. And as we do this, I want you guys to have some perspective. And if you can't see it for yourself, then allow other experts and guidance and people support that can have that perspective for you. That right now you're kind of going through the muck, but it means that you're healing and allowing those wounds that have been festering to finally heal. And we have to do it step by step. This is a process and a system, you know, unlike counseling or something where they just kind of talk about emotions all the time. We want to give actionable steps that are going to lead to real progress for you. And so we never want to skip steps. So our goal is to get communication open. If it's been surface level, we need to get it a little bit deeper. If it's been completely shut off, like the gentleman with his wife in another country for 6 months, then we need to learn how to get that communication open. You guys with me? Okay, so that's step one, is learning how to get that communication open. And I'll give you guys a little inside peek before we go on to step two, is that, you know, a lot of times we don't know how to say it or what to say, and we get into the fight, flight, or freeze mode, right? We end up either fighting and getting things into anger and blaming and shaming and all of those things, or we get into fleeing where we close off, we pull away, we hold back because we're afraid to be hurt, or we get into freeze mode where we end up not saying or doing anything because we're afraid to say or do the wrong things. We end up saying or doing nothing, and our spouse ends up leaving. All right, so that's not where we want to be, and we will show you exactly what to say, how to respond to their text message, how to break the ice over a text message or in face-to-face conversation if you haven't been able to communicate for a long time, or how to open up conversation if they're resistant to going deep, and how to help them feel safe and secure that they actually want to talk with you again. Does that make sense? So in our coaching, we show you exactly what to say, what to text, what to do in front of her, how to show her that it's okay to open up and that you are a safe place again. So where are you at with your communication right now? Let me know, because I need to know if there's if this is possible for you guys, and this is going to help us gain clarity together on if it's possible to save your marriage or not. So one, we haven't talked for over a year. I mentioned the gentleman who hadn't talked to his wife truly in 6 months at all. 2, my spouse has blocked my phone number. I can't text him or her. 3, we talk 1 to 2 times per month over phone or text. 4, we talk 1 to 2 times per month face to face. 5, we talk 1 to 2 times per week face to face. So which of those is your level? Amy says 4, mostly about the kids, scheduling. All right, we talk over text often. Jerry says 4. All right, cool. So we've got several different people here. Ercon, I'm only allowed to email about the kids. Alyssa, I do most of the texting, a lot of response. Okay, so you've got a court order. So that does make things more challenging, but not entirely impossible. So we'll need to talk together and see what the options are there. David says you talk daily, but it usually becomes a fight. So you've got the volatile type of communication. All right, mostly about the kids, scheduling. All right, cool. Carly, we talk a few times per week, face to face. All right, cool. So most of you are in levels 3 to 5, which is super encouraging. If you're level 1 or 2, then things do become a lot more challenging. And so we'll need to go a little bit deeper into what your situation is, so I can know if it's possible to save your marriage in that level of communication. So good news is, guys, as long as you're talking a couple times a month, there is hope for you. But what we need to do is make sure that we take advantage of every opportunity, every single text conversation, every single face-to-face conversation, and make it as effective as possible to turn that ship around. You guys agree? All right, so how do we do that? Well, first, it's crucial that we stop doing some of these things, okay, to master step 1. We stop demanding that they work on the marriage. We stop manipulating, pleading, acting out of desperation. We stop freezing and doing nothing out of fear. How many of us are doing these things? Most people, in fact, every single human being I've actually ever talked to has done at least one of these things, myself included, all right? But what happens is they only push our spouse further away from us, which is not what we want. Agreed? A lot of people they'll have a huge aha moment when they hear this for the first time. Oh my goodness, I have been demanding that they go to counseling with me and they keep refusing, and it is pushing them further away. Or I'm trying to manipulate them, and you're right, it is totally backfiring. This pleading, please don't go, please give me another chance, please, 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 I'm begging you, right? That desperation does not make you feel safe to them. And so it only pushes them further away. Because what happens when we don't feel safe, guys? If I don't feel safe with someone, if they're coming at me with a lot of fear, a lot of desperation, a lot of anger, or a lot of tension, then I want to get space so I feel safe, right? We do that. And that is exactly what your spouse is doing as well. Even if you're doing it with like positive intention, like I'm going to fight for my marriage, I'm going to send her 5 text messages every day, and I'm going to bring her flowers, and I'm going to really listen, I'm going to take her on all these dates. And she says, I don't want you to text me. That is going to backfire. And so instead of guessing at what needs to be changed, we need to uncover exactly what needs to be changed and help your spouse want to open up and help them want to spend time with you and be naturally drawn to you instead of pushing them further away. So here's what we need to do to naturally draw them to us. First, take the pressure off. Take the pressure off. No more demands. No more saying you must work on the marriage with me. No more desperation, right? Increasing understanding so that you feel safe to them. And we do what actually works with calm confidence. And now I can't really go into exactly what's going to work for you in your specific situation because it's going to be very different across the board. This is a very high level overview, right, of the process it takes to go from, your spouse wanting a divorce to them back in love with you or putting their wedding rings back on. Like our client Scott did just this week. His wife put her wedding rings back on. And so that takes a very customized approach. And the same person that has like an affair or a trust issue and they're at a level 4 communication, well, that's going to be handled very differently from someone who says, I'm in love with you, but I don't love you, and I just want to be friends, and they're at a level 5 communication. Okay? So I understand that this part here is probably making you really frustrated, like aggravated, like, well, what does that actually mean? Well, I can't really tell you specifically exactly what it's going to be for you until I am able to talk with you and we're able to go deeper into exactly what your situation is. And just like a doctor doesn't give a general diagnosis, but gives a very specific treatment plan based on your specific diagnosis, that is exactly what we do here at High Thrive Coaching as well. So just know that we've got your back. I just don't have enough information right now to know exactly what that's going to look like. But rest assured, no matter what the combination of your spouse's story is, remember the story that we said at the beginning, with your current communication level, there are options as long as you are communicating at least a couple times a month. Okay? Cool. All right. Someone said light bulb moment. Aha. Awesome. What do you think will help you get there the most? All right. I want to know, what do you guys think is going to help get you there the most? Is it having a coach tell you exactly how to respond to text from your spouse? Sometimes, it's not uncommon that our clients come to us and they say, oh my goodness, my spouse just said, leave me alone. I never want to see you again. I'm going to Bermuda. Okay, maybe that's a little bit extreme. It's actually happened. But more often than not, it's like, I told you I don't want to work on this. Why don't you just move on? Please, it'll be easier for us. And that kind of text message. And they're like, what do I do? Right? And so they get on a call with us and we show them exactly how they should respond given their situation to help it be as effective as possible. Do you want to know how you may unintentionally be pushing them further away? Right? These are some big traps and some big pitfalls that a lot of people fall into. And it's just because we don't know. So give yourself a little bit of grace that up until now, we aren't taught these things, right? Our parents don't teach us. They often didn't model good relationship skills for us and how to have a healthy relationship. We aren't taught this in school. It isn't modeled in our culture. And so you haven't known up until now what to do when your spouse says, I want a divorce, or how to reconnect with them, or how to show them that you really are changing, that you really want to make this work and that they want to do it with you, right? So we aren't taught how to do those things. So give yourself some grace, because now you're going to know how. Is it 3? You want to know how to take the pressure off so your efforts don't keep backfiring. Let me know. I've got some results coming in over here. All right. Or guidance on how to have the hard conversations that they've been resisting. You know, you really want to know, okay, I understand, Heather, that communication might be ugly at first, but I really want to make sure that we're able to have those hard conversations, that I'm able to find out why they had the affair. We absolutely will do that in the right time so it doesn't backfire. Amy says 1 and 3, stumble right things to say. I also need an option or way to break from resorting to that discussion, which applies to the pressure. Good. You're like an A+ student. You're really catching on to this. That's awesome. David says all the above. Andy says all of them and cats. Claire says 2 and 4. Awesome. How to get communication open, Barry. And yes, how I'm unintentionally pushing her away. Awesome. All right. So we will get that there for you. Clint, I think showing her sensitivity to her position is huge, but all of them. Awesome. And so these are things, again, that we just aren't taught. So again, give yourself some grace and know that because you haven't known up until now means that now you can learn and you can get a different result. I love the saying that when we start to do some different things, then we start to get some different results. But we know the definition of insanity is when we continue to try to do the same things over and over and over again, but expect a different result. So let's choose to do some new things. Let's choose to learn some new skills. And guys, I didn't know this. Like, I don't know. I just really didn't know this years ago when my marriage was really struggling. But they are skills and they are learnable. And no matter what you've been through, no matter what, story you've created about yourself, I'm unworthy, I'm not good enough, I don't trust people, people I love always leave me. Whatever that story is, and no matter what kind of baggage kind of brought us to this moment, we can choose to learn and to progress and to become a better version of ourselves. And so that is what we are really committed to help you do, because it's worth it. This is your life. All right. We certainly can help get you there, which means after we've opened up communication, remember, it's usually the ugly kind at first. Now we go to step 2. Unlike therapy, do it yourself. We have a proven step-by-step system to save your marriage, which requires you to follow every step. And we don't want you to miss this one. And step 2 is where we shift that negative communication to neutral communication. Does that sound better? Raise your hand. I know that sounds a lot better. I kind of think about it this way, okay? It's like our spouse has a wound, right? And they don't want to let us see it, but we can tell it's scabbed over, but underneath the surface, it's just festering and it's ugly and it's gross. And it's kind of like what we need to do is lance that wound so that we get the gunk out. And it is really ugly and it is not very fun to go through. I know, but we're there to help you and support you through that. But then once that wound is drained of all the yuck inside, then it can finally heal. So I really want you guys to sink into that and to feel what that would feel like. And as that heals, we shift from that negative, like lancing the wound, which is not fun part, to the neutral communication. And here is where we're going to shift the volatility. I think David and some of the other clients here, people here were talking about that you're really having a lot of volatility. That's going to be shifted to respect. We're going to have a lot of stonewalling and holding back from you and putting up barriers between you into openness, understanding, connection, and even friendship at this stage. It's not uncommon for a lot of our clients to say, I love this stage. This is amazing. And maybe some of you are here right now, which is cool, but you're not done yet. We got step 3, okay? So Leah and our clients, they experience a lot of progress here. And it feels really, really good. They start to give you the time of day again. Let me know which of these you look forward to the most if you aren't there. And if you are in this stage already, then let me know which of these do you enjoy the most, okay? Your spouse is going to give you the time of day again. They're actually going to want to pay attention to you. They're going to want to spend time with you. 2, you can talk about anything, truly, like all of those deeper things, all of the things like why they had the affair, why they said this, why they did this hurtful thing, how can they trust you again. You can start to talk about those things with openness and respect, truly openness and respect. 3rd, they actually want to spend time with you. In fact, they often invent excuses just be around you more. It's true. It's kind of weird. It's kind of funny, but I was just listening to a group call a couple weeks ago, and he was saying, she just kind of hangs around the house more, or she just drops in and she's like, pretends like she needs to pick up this thing, but I can tell she's just wanting to see how I am and kind of spend time with me. You'll see that your spouse tries to do those things, and they're going to create excuses in kind of funny, but sometimes more natural or subtle ways to want to spend time with you. And then for your friends again, which of these at this stage do you look forward to the most? Clint says 2, 3, and 4. Ewa, excuses. Okay. 3 and 4. Carly, Amy, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Awesome. David, 1 and 4. Thomas, 3. Awesome. Yeah, it's going to feel so good for them to want to spend time with you, that you can comfortably talk about anything. And as we get to this point, now it's really crucial that we are able to resolve those deeper issues that have caused them to want to have an affair or be separated or talk about divorce or all their unhappiness. But we must do it at the right time. And it's crucial that we don't push too hard too fast. Okay. So it's going to be awesome to have them wanting to spend time with you again. Tracy says 3, 4. Adam says 1, 4. Awesome. So again, I'm here to keep it super real. Okay. There is hope, but I'm not going to give you BS. All right. I need to let you know that most people, they make a crucial mistake at this stage. And that's why I wanted to ask you, if you are at this stage or if you've been there before, most people make a really crucial mistake. They think that they're done and that their marriage is well on their way to being restored because you're friends again. They want to hang out with you. You can talk about anything. But here's the truth. You're not done yet. Anyone here stuck in friendship stage? Is anyone here stuck in, I love you, but I'm still not in love with you? Or I just want to be friends, right? If you're stuck in there, Barry says me. Carly says me. Okay. Claire says yes. This is for you. You're not done yet. And so many people push too soon to have a full reconciliation, and it backfires. Okay, so remember their story. Remember why they wanted out initially. Okay, that's why we still have step 3. So let's get into that. Tell me, what's your experience with stage 2 here, so I can make sure we don't fall into the trap most couples do. Have you been here, right? I sensed they were coming back. I pushed them too hard and they pulled away again. If you've been at this stage, let me know. 2, I asked them to renew our vows, come back home, stop the affair, end the divorce, and it totally backfired. Have you experienced that? 3, we got stuck in the friend stage. I just asked some of you, so I know a lot of you have, right? 4, we never got to the stage at all. Yet. I put that in parentheses because we know how to get you there, and we do it over and over and over again with our clients. 5, we are already divorced. Okay, so let me know which one is what is your experience here with these? We've got 4, 4, 4. Wow. Jance, Claire, Clint, James, option 4, never got there. All right, not at the stage at all. Dion says on Facebook. Danny, we hang out all the time. We hang out, but we're not there yet. We have 1. Okay, you pushed them too hard and they pulled away again. Christina, good. Okay, so this is really crucial for you, Christina, to pay attention to this next step. Jamie says 3. Andre, 3. 3 and 4, we signed papers, but it's not final. I still keep faith and hope. Okay. All right, my friends, thank you for sharing that. Adam says 4 on Facebook. Danny says 3. Jerry says 1 and 2. Tracy 4. Cool. All right. So we've even helped people that were fully divorced. True story. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen occasionally where people become fully divorced and they say, I actually want to get back together with my ex. Is it possible? And sometimes it is, and sometimes it's not. However, I want you guys, especially those that said 1 and 2. I don't think I saw any 2s. Oh, no, Jerry said 2. And maybe a couple there I might have missed. Cool. If you're in 1 and 2, pay attention. If you're in 3 and 4, and you're in, especially 3, you're stuck in friend stage, or 4, you never got there yet. Okay, for all you 4s, know that we're going to get you there, okay, as we follow through this process. And that when you get there, you're going to have the foresight to not make this mistake, and we'll guide you through how not to get stuck at stage 2. If you're stuck in stage 2, really, really pay attention to this, because this is where you're at right now. Most couples make that mistake, right? which is why it's important you get step 3 right, like Leah did. So here's her story in her own words of how she saved her marriage when her husband wanted out. I'm gonna go ahead and play that. Hopefully you guys can hear it.
So my husband started cheating on me in November, and I found out in February, about a month before our son was born, and I was broken. I thought that I was never going to get through it. I felt like a part of me had died. And I didn't know what to do. And then one day, about 3 months ago, I found an ad on Facebook talking about the program. And for me, it was a sign from God, because I was at my wit's end. I didn't know what to do anymore. I felt like all I was doing was walking in circles. And so I joined the program on my last leg of hope, and it made a huge difference in my life. Because of the program, I started doing more self-reflection, and I started working on me, and I started improving myself and bringing that to my marriage. And because of that, because of following the program and speaking my husband's love language and finding what my husband needed because of the help of the program, my husband and I can now say that we have been married for 5 years as of last week. And he's left the other woman, and he's focusing on his family, and he wants to have a future with me, and he wants to have a future with me and our son together as a family. And I'm telling you guys, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling knowing that I still get to spend the rest of my life with the love of my life. And some of you guys might be feeling like you're losing hope. Don't give up. Don't give up. Keep pushing through. When you feel like you have nothing left to give, when you feel like you are on your last leg, you aren't. You have more strength than you realize, and you can get through this, and you will get through this. Just keep doing the program, keep sticking with it, keep believing in yourself, and I promise you guys, you will see a difference.
All right, some of you know Leah. She's incredible, and she's just one of our many, many clients that have gone through this process. And she now has 3 beautiful children, and she and her husband are doing better than ever. So why is step 3 so important? Here we have to systematically remove all their old beliefs about us, okay? Even the ones they're hanging on to subconsciously to protect themselves from being hurt. In fact, that's what the story really is. It's a subconscious defense mechanism. They feel like it's going to help keep them safe, help keep them from getting hurt, and help keep them in control of what probably feels like a very uncontrollable situation. It gives them a sense of empowerment, right? And we need to replace that story so that they see themselves happy with us again. So how much do you want this for yourself? On a scale of 1 to 10 or 1 to 100, we're going big, 1 to 100. How important is it for you to have your spouse want to be with you again? Guys, I've seen this. Sorry, I can't help but get emotional because to me, marriage is sacred. I have seen your spouse go from being checked out and cold-hearted and surface level and won't go deep, won't open up, and hurting you over and over again, to craving to be with you again, to wanting your presence, to desiring you again, to being fully committed with you again. And I know that it is possible for most people if you choose to let it. So on a scale of 1 to 100, oh, someone put 1,000. Jerry, you're awesome. Dione, 100. Tracy, 100. Adam, 100. 100 plus 1. We're like Dalmatians here, 101. David, 100. Awesome. James, yeah, completely important to you. Awesome. 100, Jans, Thomas, Clint, Sarah, 100, Dion, 100 again, 1,000. Nick, awesome. Gavin, will this work even if we're separated and living apart? Yes, most of our clients are in that situation. I would say probably a good 40, 50% of our clients are actually separated. And so it depends, and we need to go deeper into your situation. I'm not going to ever say 100% yes, because I don't know exactly what's going on in your situation. That's why we need to go deeper into what's going on, and I can know for sure if it's possible for you guys, okay? But you guys want it, and that is awesome. So clients like Leah and others, they were told by their friends, by their families, even sometimes counselors or church people, you know, even pastors have told us sometimes, you know, if you listen to our podcast, you know, my partner here, Marc Johnston, was told by his bishop, his wife was told to give up, that there was no hope for them. And now they've been married over 15 years, have 5 incredible children, and he is the co-founder and has saved thousands of marriages. So people tell you there's no hope. You just say, watch me, just see what's possible, right? People told me there was no hope for me. I was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer while pregnant with my 6th baby. They told me I had a 5% chance of making it to this day. Now, I'm not here to give you guys full, you know, false hope, but if there's something inside of you that says, I need to do this, I don't want to live my life with regret. I don't want to go forward knowing I didn't give it my all. I don't want to look back on the last day of my life saying I had a chance to turn things around and I didn't do it. That is the worst pain any of us will ever feel. You think you're in pain now, that is nothing compared to the pain of regret. Versus knowing I gave it my all. I became better. I learned these things that I didn't know before, and I grew as it. And I'm so grateful for these challenges because they shaped me into a better person. This is why it's so crucial, guys, that we tune into that inner voice inside of us that knows truth, that says, I need to do something here. I need to learn from this challenge. I need to become a better person. Life's giving me an incredible blessing and an opportunity. It might not feel like that right now, but in a few years, my hope, my prayer for you is that you'll look back on it and see that it was the greatest experience of your life because it helped you become who you're really meant to be, helped you become a better person. And we're here to help guide you step by step, every step along the way so that you succeed if that resonates with you. So, question now here, my friends. Do you want guidance from a professional path marriage coach to guide you through these 3 steps your spouse wants to spend time with you, wants to be with you again? Do you want to see if there is hope for your marriage, if it is possible? If it's not, we'll let you know, truly. And it's okay. It's okay to know, look, I'm sorry, in this situation, there isn't hope for you, and you can go on and become a better person and grow and heal anyway. Or you can know there is hope and that there are things that you can do to turn this around. Is that what you guys want? Yes or no? It's completely up to you. Awesome. Yes, more than anything, David says. Jan says, absolutely. James, yes, you're in. Awesome. Emmy, yep. Cool. All right. So the next step is I just want you to fill out a quick form. Let me know what your situation is. It'll ask your contact information as well. If you feel like you're a good fit for coaching, then we're going to reach out to you and talk about the next steps. Okay. So here's the form. James, let me know what's going on. Clint says, oh God, please. Yes. All right. So it's just a form and it's like a Google form. I'm going to put it in the chat on Facebook as well. You guys should see it there. And you just go ahead and fill this out. Remember, like I said, I need to know more about your specific situation so that we can go deeper and I can know if there's hope for you or not. I can see exactly what level of communication you have combined with your spouse's story of why they want out. And we'll uncover what's led them to believe this and have this defense mechanism. And once we have that information, after you fill out this form, then we'll have a conversation and know what the next best steps for you are and create a game plan to take you where you are with their story, with that defense mechanism, and how you can get their attention so they want to open up, they want to communicate with you. We get that communication going, then we shift it to neutral communication. We build that respect, that empathy, and that friendship. And then in step 3, we ensure you don't get stuck in the friendship stage, but that you truly are able to help them let that story go so that you can fully heal and they'll want to be with you guys again. So that's it. All right, that's the next step. Go ahead and fill out that form. Let me know what your situation is, and we'll go deeper into the possibility for you to be able to save your marriage. All right. Alyssa said, I'm in your program, just started a week ago. Awesome. Yep, James, you're good to go. So thank you so much for joining. I want to see you inside. I will be checking these forms, me and my team. And so go ahead and just fill out this quick form. It's bit.ly, like bit.ly link, right? bit.ly/HTC apply, High Thrive Coaching apply. And after you fill out this form, we'll be able to go in like a doctor and diagnose exactly what's going on there for you and help you know what is possible for you in your marriage. So in conclusion, my friends, life is short. It is a beautiful, precious gift. And these challenges that come to us come for a reason. I know that. And I have seen some people crumble and become smaller and weaker versions of themselves because life beats them to the ground. But I've also seen other people choose to rise above their challenges, to choose to rise above the heartbreak, to choose to rise above all the people that are telling them that there's no possibility or no hope for them. And they become masters of their lives. And it is a beautiful thing to witness. So I'm grateful that I was able to connect with you today. And I love you. And my hope and my prayer for each of us is that we're able to become a little better day by day, step by step, and make the most of this beautiful, beautiful life. So thank you so much for joining me today. And I appreciate everyone who's reached out to me. Those who've already joined. No, James, if you already joined, you don't need to join again. I love your enthusiasm though. Just keep doing the program and going through the steps. So thank you all for joining me today, and I will see you guys very soon.